God, rookie errors. Right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back. And we're off to Miami. It's myself and Corey. It's my first one of the day. And yeah, how are you feeling, Corey? You've been here pretty much since the start now. So how are you doing?
Been here all day, yeah. I've been watching, lurking in the stream as everyone has been doing the crossovers. I had my first share of comms and had my first share of fumbles on the track, but let's not talk about that one. Just more as a survival mode for those first two rounds. I'm feeling more confident for tomorrow morning at back. I'm a bit more confident on that track, but I actually have a setup for that. I just did Texas with a Silverstone setup. Not recommended, let's tell you that.
Oh, I mean, at least you've got the first sector like Magnus and Beckett's, kind of. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, difficult. Let's say that.
Oh God.
It was difficult. It was nice until we get to around sector 2, and then I had absolutely no straight line speed. And then
Yeah.
in the braking zone, I had to pump up the brake bias to even make the corners. I had to have it more braking on the rear because there was no steering whatsoever. So that was fun. We're getting ready for what is going to happen next, and it's Miami.
It is.
Interesting track, one of the interesting circuits. So we've only 19 turns, 3 DRS zones, so plenty of places they can pull off an overtake, but it is going to get a little bit tricky for these drivers out here. A couple drivers have been with us throughout the entirety of the stream, returning for some more racing, so they're certainly going to start to feel the fatigue start to settle in. But we have to the track, so qualifying's about to get ready, and I don't know about you, Alex, but I'm excited. It's been an exciting day all the way through. We've raised quite a lot of money so far.
Yeah, it is very exciting. I love this event so much. The first time it happened, it was so fantastic, and it's so good to be back. But yeah, Miami, quite an interesting one. A lot of the league racing scene stays away from Miami. Obviously, it had quite a few bugs back in day, but they're fixed now. So yeah, we'll head to Miami with head held high. But let's head to the race view and let's get into the one-shot qualifying, and let's see who can take pole position. Let's go.
I've just seen in the chat, that's a beautiful point. Corey's got that red light district decor. I could have done one better before we went to game screen. I can make the room red. So, if you wanna start, putting me out in the windows, I can make it red as well. But nevertheless, we're up the front, and here's Shanaka Clay, who's leading the way so far as we get going into Sector 1, the fast, twisty turns of Miami, and he's dealing with them very, very nicely indeed. Zozo, one of the drivers that has set down some pace in previous races, has been caught by the eye, to say the least. He's somebody to watch out for as a contender, but now Quintino has managed to find some pace getting into Sector 2, and he's able to pull ahead in the timing screens.
Yes, indeed. We're going to fly into the midst of Miami, and let's see if Shanaka Clay can get back on top. Gabriel Quintino pretty much neck and neck as you fly into the Mickey Mouse section, and nicely on the brakes over the curves. Pretty nice if Shanaka Clay, but Quintino still edging slightly ahead. Who's got the better straight line speed? Bit of wobbles on the rear there, so gets his foot down as we head to the final braking zone. And Quintino is pulling away on the straights, it seems, as it stands.
Yeah, it seems like Quintino's managed to find that extra pace, that extra speed coming down this straight, but there's still this harsh braking zone, this turn number 17, and then flat to the floor and away you go around 18 and 19 with a little boost of the DRS. But it seems like Quintino's got that one in the bag by just under half a tenth. Beautiful stuff there from Quintino, and Shanaka Clay setting down some good pace to just line up behind him. These two going to go at it for this Miami Grand Prix.
They are indeed very, very close there, and it makes it an even more interesting race. But it's Gabriel Quintino who takes pole position, only just shy of half a tenth clear of Shanaka Clay. Then it's Formula Kai, Zozo. It's Rapid. I don't know how you pronounce that name. Obviously, I'm from up north, so just bear with me. Then Thomas Reed, Ben Mills, Professor that. Then Chris Brooks are the remainder of the top 10. How would you pronounce that name?
Down, we have Razagema Yato. Which one are we looking at? The Nijus?
Yeah.
Nijus.
Nijus.
You've got both Northerners on the comms there. You've literally got the Northerners duo. We don't know what we're doing here for these names.
Oh, bear with us. We are Northern. We make our own. We make our own. Oh my days. Right. Let's head to the lights then. Let's head to the grid. What's your predictions here for Miami?
I mean, Shanaka Clay, very talented driver, but so is Gabby, as he's been so nicely nicknamed in the chat. He could potentially be a nice little battle between these two. But Formula Car, you may have mentioned, was in P3, though, only 2.5 tenths off. He can stay in the DRS train, keep himself out of trouble, let these two squabble away. Maybe you'll see the creator take it to the top. Formula Car looking strong for a podium so far already. We're qualifying. So let's see how the Grand Prix is yet to play out. Does he have a chance to challenge these two very quick, talented drivers who are certainly going to bring that action to the front of your screen?
Yes, and not a long run down to turn one as well. So, you know, it's all about the launch really off the line. And the main action will be heading down the back straight, I'd say, down to turn 13. Then obviously you wait through the mid sector and head all the way down to turn number 17, another DRS zone there. So yeah, obviously a few overtaking zones, and we'll head to the lights in Miami here for the Mine 24-hour charity event. And the silence breaks, and the battle begins. It's Quintino, who seems to get a launch off the line. Shanika Clay with the inside line down at turn number 1. It's tight between the Aston and the Alpine. Shanika Clay just shy of Quintino, who takes the lead for SCI. And it's Zozo, it's Rapid, and Formula Kai dropping back and into P5. But everyone off the line pretty well so far. I think something might happen to the hat of Brooks and Skolin at the back for VNT in the Mercedes. But so far, through the first sector, I think everyone's got through safely.
Yeah, so far, Formula Kai really struggling here off the start, dropping positions quite far down, but managing to fight his way back up into P4, still squabbling away with this Rapid. They've been going for it since this lap started, and they're still squabbling for it. We may see a 3-wide moment here coming down the Sector 2 straight. Who's going to be on top of this one? We see a dive bomb from the driver that we cannot name for VMV, who's looking to try and get through on Rapid, but Formula Kai still managing to defend that, hold that off. All this fighting, squabbling, no, big moment, and there goes Nijus. I'm just going to try and say it for the hell of it, into the barrier, and that's damage. Well, what are we going to do now? He's fell to the back of the grid. The gaps have opened. No safety car. Can he get himself going again?
Oh my days, absolute carnage into Mickey Mouse section. Nijus, I think you've absolutely smashed out of the park for an over. That is absolutely phenomenal. Nijus down to P19 after all that. XPG Flame is fighting at the back down to the final braking zone. Everyone's still everywhere fighting for places as it's Rapid is into the pit lane. It's lap number 2 out of 29. Quintino's in the lead. It's Shanika Clay in P2. It's Zozo in P3 and chasing in that top 4, all still within a second of each other. Then down from that, it's Thomas Reed, Ben Mills, Chris MCK, then Razza Gamer, Apachet, whatever that is in the Williams, and it's Yato.
Oh, that's Apache CTL. That's Apache.
Oh,
yeah,
Apache.
The Williams Apache, yes, Apache. So the CTL at the end, I know it looks different, but if you take that away, it's just Apache, and I'm going to call him Apache for this Grand Prix. So that's what we're going to go with for the Williams man in P9. But furthermore, that battle, that little incident that happened with the Nijus down in 16th has allowed Formula Kai to get back in the DRS, and like I mentioned just before we started, if he can stay there, maybe within a chance as these front 3 Rapid drivers, Zozo being one I mentioned in qualifying, finding his way to P3, well in the fight for what could be the victory. Formula Kai as well just needs to wait. That opportunity could come his way. But Thomas Reed is now starting to catch up, braking just within the DRS, in and out, just barely on the cusp. Can Reed now get in it and challenge Formula Kai for P4?
Yeah, Thomas Reed done a really solid effort on that lap to get within. And quick look at tyres then, actually, at the moment. So Ben Mills is the only one on the hards within the top 10, as I think something's happened to, is it Yato at the back? We'll have a quick look at that one, as he's dropping down the order. Or is it Nijus once again, going side by side? I'm not too sure, but we'll look further up. As Gabriel Quintino, something's happened to him in P7, he's dropping down the order. I think I got turn 1. Did you catch that?
I think he spun it round. I don't know if it was contact, something. Got that Aston Martin pointing the wrong direction. But I've got to say, he's done well to get himself going now. He has lost around 8 seconds to that lead. But it's not as bad as it could have been. He could have been further down the order yet. Because the gap isn't actually that big. We're still only on lap 3. A lot of drivers still in DRS, very close to each other, lurking, waiting for opportunities to happen. Quintino's done well to stay in P8. And he is looking like he may be challenging Razza Gamer pretty shortly.
Yeah,
here we go. Round the outside.
Yeah, flying through Quintino after that mistake, so now needs to get his head down and make some moves. Quintino up to P7 already and gets past Razza Gamer, needs to crucially get back in the DRS of Chris, but I don't think that'll be much of a problem to get back in that. Was in the race leading pack, but after that mistake, dropping down the order, and Quintino is already back in that DRS. Crucial for himself and to try and fight back through the top 6, but at the moment, Shanika Clay leads then to Zozo, then to Formula Kai, then Thomas Reed, showing some very good pace, to be honest. Behind Formula Kai, really, really close, just within 0.2 of a second. So Reed is definitely one to watch heading forward, especially on lap number 3. He's pushing quite hard in this first stint. But yeah, definitely one to keep an eye on.
Absolutely, and Frost Breath, they're just getting past CWM Boy. I'm guessing that's what that's supposed to stand for. In 11th place there for the commentary team. Beautiful stuff. But that battle is not over yet, so I may keep my eye on this one just to see if the Ferrari driver can challenge back up. But looking at the front of the field, somebody's had a moment and has dropped down the order, I believe. I think that's Ben Mills maybe, or somebody else has fell down and it's led Quintino up into P5. Chris has lost out there. There was a ghosted moment. I couldn't exactly see it. I wasn't on board quick enough. There was a ghosted moment and 2 lots of exchanges. Razza Gamer now looking to challenge Chris MCK for this position as we get going down the Sector 2 DRS straight. Chris not benefiting with that DRS system. So now it's for Razza Gamer to pick up that P6.
Yeah, I think something might happen between Chris and Ben Mills. They both dropped down the order, and Ben Mills now down in P8 for FZR. And yeah, it's not great for my team, but I'll have to have a look after the race, see what happened. But yeah, I think something happened between the pair. I think Chris was in P5, or Chris in P6, and Ben Mills in P5, vice versa, whatever. And yeah, they've definitely lost a heap of time to the front pack. But Gabriel Quintino already nearly in the DRS of Thomas Reed, who's still challenging Formula Kai at the moment, heading down into final braking zone. He's gone for the lunge. Has Thomas Reed. The V-car makes a move on the Red Bull, but he gets a big snap on the exit, and that allows Formula Kai back through, but he's knocking on the door. He's trying to make a move. Formula Kai struggling to stay in the DRS. They've lost 1.6 seconds to the leading 2, and Thomas Reed knocking on the door, but just can't get through yet.
Yeah, that's huge and costly for Formula Kai. They're dropping out of that DRS. He's not going to be able to use that as that defensive aid. A lot of drivers like it because you can use it to attack and to defend, but we're going to say goodbye to it after these 25 regulations see an end on this game and that DLC gets released. So these drivers need to enjoy it while they can, because soon it's going to say goodbye and we may welcome in the active aero. But I've heard a rumour. A rumour. I'm not going to speculate too much on it. Active aero maybe a bit too dangerous, and he's not allowed for the first couple of races. Maybe a rumour. I'm not entirely sure. Unconfirmed. Don't want to spread misinformation, but I'm going to look more into that after this event has been over. We've been rather busy with it all, so I've not really looked into it too much. But there, I do see Quintino almost having Formula Kai straddling a little bit. He's almost straddled by Formula Kai there, and then Quintino's ghosting through.
It was just riding him on my screen. Not gonna lie, Quintino was literally riding him. Formula Kai is now dropping back. Thomas Reed, I'm sorry, is dropping back, and Quintino gets through. As temporarily it was on top of him, but Quintino into P4, fighting his way through, literally getting underneath him and through. If there's a will, there's a way, and Gabriel Quintino gets the place. What on earth?
I think Quintino was getting a bit upset being stuck behind and was trying to give Thomas Reed a bit of a hand there, grabbing the wheel and showing him how to steer through these next few corners to gain extra time. He said, "Yeah, I'll show you how to do it like this."
Oh my days.
Crazy stuff. Crazy stuff.
Oh, right. So let's have a quick look at the pit stops as well. So Zozo, It's Rapid, and Chris MK downwards have all stopped in this race so far. I'm in that lap 6 mark as well. Shanika Clay is 3 seconds in that lead from all the drama behind. And it has been quite an active race in the first 6 laps, that's for certain. And yeah, I'll see what happens with the pit strategies too. Zozo's down in P15 from the front pack. And yeah, see where he can go on his new harder compounder tyres, but yeah, close.
Well, so far the pit stops come into play. You've had Chris MCK, who's done 1 pit stop and has done 1 lap on those hards. Everybody else on a bit of a mixing strategy. Zozo has gone in, fresh hard tyres for him, doing P15. Everybody else still running the same compound at the moment, apart from those who did box on that first lap. Had a few incidents on the start. Nico Rasenberg, Brooks and Controller down the bottom 3. They've been running for 4 laps now out of the 6 laps involved on this circuit so far. Up at the front, Formula Kai is still struggling to try and catch up to Contino. Contino's gone on 3 seconds to gain to Shinaka Clay, but has done very well to fight his way through the order there as Quintino after that little bit of a moment and a spin earlier on in the Grand Prix.
Absolutely. I've just heard as well in the chat that we have reached £1,150 in donations. Thank you very much, guys. I think it was Mr. Gun in chat. Thank you very much for the donation. Really appreciated. And yeah, it's amazing what we can do as a community as a whole. And I think that means reverse grid for Monza, but 1,150 great British pounds. The community is absolutely huge. We love you all loads. Thanks for coming together like this. It's the best event of the year by absolute far, and this is why we love doing it, for such great causes. Thanks, Mr. Gun, again. Like Nathan says in the chat, amazing work from everyone. Amazing work from the likes of Nathan, TK as well. All the guys organising, they've done an amazing job. And yeah, it's an absolutely fantastic cause.
Absolutely, but Zozo, out of all the drivers, making moves on those fresh hard tyres, picking off the pieces are those that are just trying to manage and go a little bit longer. What do you think, Alex? Are we expecting 2 stops here, potentially, maybe even? Do you think the tyre degradation could be that bad?
I mean, to be honest, it must be, because we had some really early pit stops, so trying to make something different. But yeah, from here, the people who pitted a few laps ago, they're not going to make the end. So it's got to be a 2-stop. So yeah, I thought it was a 1-stop, to be honest, for this race. Thought it was going to be like 16 laps, trying to get 15 or 16 laps out of the hards, then be a long stint on the mediums. But it would be a long stint on the mediums, so it does make sense to do at stop. Rob, for the commentary team, flies up past Apeche. I think that is. I think it is.
Like the helicopter.
Prospect Rob gets through. What a guy, into P7.
What we can say is that Nathan keeps sharing out in the chat. Remember, 1,500. We get to £1,500 in the donation pot, and to work with blue hair. Now, the reason why I think Nathan is calling this out is because we've already hit the milestone where Nathan's going pink. So he wants to see TK follow suit, and he wants him to get that blue hair on the board. So let's see if we can reach that 1,500, and hopefully TK and both Nathan. We already know Nathan's going pink, but as well TK, hopefully we can see them with the spicy, nice and colourful hair, to say the least.
Spicy is a great word to describe it.
Fabulous.
Is Yato trying to make a move on Flame? Cannot get through. On Chris, sorry, but cannot make through. I'd love to see TK with that hair. I think that'd be absolutely fantastic. Nathan earlier was wearing that wig in Mexico. That was absolutely fantastic. He looked absolutely gorgeous, to be quite frankly honest. It looked absolutely gorgeous. I've never seen someone like it.
You couldn't tell. You couldn't tell it was a man.
I didn't even know he was wearing a wig. Someone had to tell me. Crazy.
Honestly, so natural.
I know. I always thought he had that long hair. Lustrous locks, Mr. Nathan Richards. But Smurf, yeah, TK. They call him Smurf. Yeah, brilliant. I can't wait to see that. So make sure you hit the goal. Gotta happen.
Yeah, we've got to get there. We've got to get there. Even if it's just a couple of pounds, every little bit helps. All going towards a great charity. We can't mention it enough. Anything that you have issues with mental health, I know it may seem inconsistent. You don't feel like you can reach out. You may feel like you're burdening people when you ask them for help or seek just therapy in that sense. You don't burden people. There are charities and support out there, so you just pick up the phone. Even then, a lot of charities don't even need you to require to speak. They have text lines, they have email lines. You can get in touch and the help is there for you.
Absolutely. It's such a fantastic cause, and one everybody should look out for, and one another in general. And yeah, this is why this event is absolutely so special. Back to track action. Nico Rasenberg is very, very close to the back of XPG Flame, and at the moment, still, we've got a fair few battles out on the track. On me in the chat, my wig is all nice and ready for Monza. I'm excited to see that. That's going to be absolutely fantastic. Why would you wear wigs or
Omi and
whatever it's
awake.
called?
I might try and stay awake to be back in race. It is at 5 in the morning, but I want to see Omi in awake. So whenever Omi's next one comes, I'm gonna stay awake for this. I want to see Omi in his wake. I do.
Oh.
Well, we are seeing Razagamo dive into the pit. So that's Quintino into the pit. Sorry, falling down the order. He's going to swap out for some fresh tyres. Hopefully, he's going to be able to now push on towards the end. 19 laps to go.
Ooh.
He's done 10 laps so far. Even after that disastrous moment, Shinaka Clay going 1 lap longer, really looking to extend to benefit on the hards when they maybe needed most towards the end of the Grand Prix. You want to try and keep him as fresh as possible. And of course, Formula Kai has had a fantastic race so far, doing very, very well. Currently holding out in P2, but he was officially P3 on the track in the net order. It is Quintino who's chose to dive in early. So will we see Shinaka Clay try and cover that off as Quintino tries to go for that undercut?
Yeah, it's going to be making me want Zozo as well, who stopped a little bit earlier. But now he's got to elongate this stint 19 laps on hards. I think he did start on the mediums as well. I don't know if that's... I mean, it'll be close near the end, but yeah, it'll be a drag if he does want to go for the one stop. So we'll see if it is a two stop later on in the race. But yeah, let's see if Shanaka Clay comes into the pit lane. Let's see if Formula Kai comes into the pit lane. Ben Mills on the hards, obviously started on the hards. So let's see what he does and that, see how long he goes, because that's obviously interesting to see if it will be a two stop. We know people are probably, well, they must be going for a two stop near the back of the field. So yeah, we'll have to wait and see what the strategy really is. And yeah, we've still got a few patches of battles out on the track. Everyone's just in their own little races, it seems, at the minute, in some sort of different strategy. So that's what keeps it interesting, and it all come together near the end of the race to form a good pack, I'm sure of that one. Thomas Reed, Apeche, whatever you call him, then Gabriel Quintino, all relatively close on track, heading through that first sector. Let's see what battle occurs here.
Well, I'm trying to keep my eyes on these gaps. Quintino is making moves on these fresh softs, moving up through the order. Got past Orzo, got past Apache, and now he's setting his sights on Thomas Reed. He is within that DRS. We'll pick up the DRS as we get going into Sector 2. So maybe you'll see another move come Quintino's way. However, they are on the same tyre now. Thomas Reed has completed a pit stop, so he's going to try and defend this. He's not going to let it go too easily. This is for track position. Thomas Reed currently net leader. Quintino trying to chase him down because of the pit stop phases. Here we still have Frost Breath, Bren Mills, Formula Kai, and Shinaka Clay out of the front runners that are yet to complete a pit stop. Of course, we've had the Red Bull, who's had a bit of a moment, boxed on to the mediums early on into the Grand Prix, and we have Skolon also 10-lap old on the mediums. Everybody else has done something with the tyres apart from those front four runners.
Absolutely. Thomas Reed going for a move on Frost Breath. So Zozo making a move on Apeche. Gabriel Quintino making a move up the order too. His car's absolutely everywhere down the straight, making the moves and goes way too deep. And that's Rob as well, losing his front wing for the commentary team. And the front right end plate is gone. Just broke out a little bit too late. And now that is put him kind of in the mud for the rest of the race. So he might have to get that repaired, or he might be able to take it to the end of the race, try and score some decent points if he possibly can. But anyway, shame for Rob there. Bit too late on the brakes and hits the back of Quintino. But yeah, he might be able to get that repaired and still fight for something in this race. He's been doing quite a decent job, to be honest. But yeah, we'll see how long it goes on this strategy too. Zozo makes a move past him up to P6. He was a very early stopper, so yeah, let's see what type of strategy Zozo's going for.
Yeah, it's like you said, Rob has been doing very well. He's really shown some decent pace here in Miami. I know the first opening rounds, the results have been a bit up and down. He did do that double header. He's back again here for Miami onto the track and up there in P7 as it stands. Yet to complete a pit stop, so we're waiting to see where he's going to come out in relation to that until we go all the way to the end of the Grand Prix. But starting on the hards, he's got plenty of time to decide when is the optimum time to swap them out for the mediums. The mediums are going to feel a lot better as well compared to those that started on them, because again he's burnt off some of that fuel. The car's a bit lighter, the track is rubbing in a lot more with all 20 drivers. Well, I say 20, 19, as we do have one driver who has retired from the Grand Prix, that being controller for FER. And we look on, they've had quite a few, I think, retirements throughout, so they're costing themselves a lot of points. Yeah. I think FER, but other than that, in relation to tyre wearing strategies, there's still a lot to come yet. Still a lot to come. We do see now, though, Formula Kai dive into the pit, swap out onto a set of hard tyres, and there we see, oh, it's a crash for the VNT driver. That's a crash, and we're under virtual safety car. The Mercedes has planted himself into the barrier in turn 14. That is very easily done. That inside wall at 14 can take off that front left if you just take it a little bit too aggressively. Comes out of nowhere. You want to try and take the apex, but the wall is right there, ready to claim you as a victim. And a victim, the VNT driver, Sculloin, has been.
Yeah, Shanika Clay might get a nice and easy pit stop, to be honest, but it depends how long this VSC stays out for. But it's only a VSC. To be honest, I thought that was going to be a full course of where it was. But yeah, no, is just a virtual safety car. Hello, Jensen, in the chat as well. Good to see you, my friend. Ben Mills also haven't stopped. Let's have a look at the pit stops as well, because honestly, the pit strategies, there's too many of them that I'm actually getting really confused. Who's what, who's done what. And so, at the moment, everyone's stopped apart from Rob, Negus, Ben Mills, and Shanika Clay. And at the moment, Shanika can go till the end, you've got to think, if he comes in to stop for the mediums now. He's done 12 laps on those mediums, so could go on to hard for the rest of the race, which makes sense. Let's see if he can pit before coming to before the state of VSC ends, which it has ended now, so that's not going to happen. Ben Mills also is yet to stop, but he's on the hards, so is he going to go long and try and go onto the mediums and make it a one-stop? We'll have to see what happens to Ben Mills. And Formula Kai makes a move on Chris there. But yeah, it's too many strategies going on. It's frying my brain, to be honest.
Yeah, there is a lot of alternate strategies, a lot of mind games going on here between drivers. Where can we find the most time? When have we got the best tyres? When is the best call to enter that pit lane and swap out for whatever compound or rubber you deem necessary at the time? But for some drivers, especially like Shanika Clay, he's gone 13 laps on these mediums, tyre saving to the absolute max with a 10-second gap to Ben Mills, 12-second gap to Quintino, who's completed a pit stop. So he's thinking, I'm a bit comfortable here. Even when I come out, if Quintino's going to the end, he's going to have a tyre offset, and that tyre offset is going to be huge in another 5 to 7 laps compared to what I may feel having this extended medium stint. So Shanika Clay really setting himself up for what could be a brilliant endgame and a brilliant strategy here. Just able to maintain the control, maintain these mediums. Nobody else on the field has run the mediums for this long. He's the longest on the medium tyres, and it's just going to benefit him all the way through towards the end there in this hard stint.
Absolutely. Formula Kai, Chris MK, MCK, Razza, Frostbreath, all fighting out on the track at the moment. Formula Kai getting ahead of the lot. And yeah, at the moment, there's still a lot of battles everywhere where you think, oh, are they actually fighting for track, or are they fighting different strategies? Who knows? Shanika Clay's in the pit lane. I think it's the right time to stop, obviously. Hard compound tires. He's set this up really well for himself for the one-stop strategy and should go nicely to the end on the harder compounds. So see where he comes out. Thomas Reed takes the fastest lap of the race, though. He gets ahead on those 6-lap old hards. So see what his strategy is as well. If he's going to stop again, he's trying to make a move on Ben Mills and Gabriel Quintino in his way. Ben Mills, 14-lap old hards for himself. Then Gabriel Quintino, 5-lap old hards. And yeah, Thomas Reed kind of stuck behind in this first sector. See what happens in the middle sector. But yeah, like I was saying, there's just a lot of different battles going on. You don't know if it's for track. You don't know if it's on strategy. You don't know where they're going to end up. But when it gets around the lap 25 mark, we're all settled in. We know what's finishing order might just be, and we know what the battles are. Thomas Reed is making a move finally on Ben Mills. The DRS opens for Thomas Reed, so he's going to fly all the way down, catching Gabriel Quintino. And yeah, gets through. So Thomas Reed into P2, Quintino into the lead, and we've got our chasing now. Shanika Clay 4.6 seconds behind the top 3 and on fresh tyres and definitely going to the end.
Yeah, it's been an interesting battle to come to fruition. As things have been starting to play out, strategies are starting to unfold. Drivers, who has gone for a 2-stop, who's gone for a 1-stop. I mean, 10 laps already for the likes of Chris MCK. He's got to be thinking of another medium set of tyres at some point in the line. I doubt he can go another 14 laps on those tyres. It's just, oof, a little bit too much, I think, for the hard compound to do without losing considerable competitive pace. But everybody else is just trying to play catch-up at the minute. Quintino back into the lead and Thomas Reid trying to close up, trying to chase down, but with 1 lap older tyres, and Shanaka Clay with a 4.5-second deficit he needs to try and break down on the freshest tyres of the front three. Zozo has also got to be thinking maybe two-stop strategy, or are these hard compounded tyres going to last another 13, 14 laps, as he's already ran 10 laps on them so far.
Yeah, Ben Mills also could be in a decent position, to be honest. He's just pitted for the medium compounder tyres, and when everybody else comes in to stop... Oh, he's got a 10-second time penalty. I didn't realise that. Ben Mills, guessing that's for speeding in the pit lane, which I've just missed, and was in a decent position without the 10-second time penalty, but now could be a bit in the mud there. Rob's still struggling out on track at the moment with the damage on the front right end plate, unfortunately, for the commentary team. From the kite, just making a move on Zozo on the route down in the mid-sector and gets up into P4. And yeah, he set some decent pace so far from the kite. See if he can push on and where can finish in this race.
It's Rappy just picking up a 3-second penalty there. Track limits. It's unfortunate. I've seen too many of those today. But as we look on towards the rest of the field, Rappy now making moves on Owl Esports. Owl Esports just sort of being a consistent back-end contender, has been coming to blows with those at the back of the field so far, having a little squabbles in its own little battles and just trying to score the best points possible for the team. But as we continue on for what is now the sort of a management phase of the Grand Prix, you see this in leagues, you see this pretty much everywhere where you see F125, 50% racing. We get to a midpoint of the Grand Prix where drivers now start to go into a tyre conservation mode. They start to look at the gaps, they start to think of the strategy, they look at the map as well, they can judge how big the gaps are from there if they're gaining any time, and try to focus on what that end game is going to be in 12 laps time. You want to be on the last lap in a specific position, and if we had a moment.
Sorry, Nico Rasenberg absolutely diving down the inside. It's Rappian and Yato too, all squabbling at the final corner, and one of them just nearly got pushed into the walls. Just stayed out of it, luckily. And I think it's Yato coming to the pit anyway. But yeah, Rasenberg, it's Rappi, all getting a bit aggressive out at the back. And yeah, I mean, all the tyre strategies, I'm just looking at the tyres right now and it's just confusing. There's so many tyre offsets everywhere on the grid. Thomas Reid on 8-lap-old hards. Same with Quintino, really. Then Shanaka Clay obviously on 2-lap-old hards. From the Kai, 4-lap-old, so he can go to the end. Then Zozo on 11-lap-old hards. He's got to stop again, surely. So yeah, there's just a hell of a lot of... Oh, what's happened? What's happened to XPG Flame?
He's crashed out, I think. Yeah, it's just before where we saw the end of Scalorn in Sector 2. It's claimed another victim. It's a very, very tricky part of the circuit. We're under full course, though. It's not a VSC. It's full course safety car. Chris MCK has just boxed, and he has probably benefited the most from that.
Yeah, absolutely. Out front, everyone getting to stop again. And... oh, I mean, that makes it interesting, doesn't it? That definitely makes it interesting. Tyre strategies are now going to get reset to the end of the race. This is actually a relief for my eyes because it's stressing me out trying to work out whose fight. And, yeah. So, everyone will be reset now. Everyone's got the same tyres. It should be the same tyres or similar tyres, so it should be a flat-out battle to the end. Ben Mills has got rid of his 10-second time penalty, so he can contend as well. And he's going on to... and 2-lap-old, or a new set of hards. So everyone on new hards or new mediums until the end of the race. So yeah, that makes it a lot better for us to understand who's what battle. Quintino's leading though. Thomas Reid and Shanaka Clay, who has now been reset. I think Shanaka Clay was on for a slap bang win there, that speak. And so yeah, now it resets it. Shanaka is going to try and fight through the grid and fight through the front two. And it could give us a really interesting battle to the end of the race here.
So I would have thought that Chris MCK would have gained a bit more than he did though, because he boxed and I don't know. I think safety car bug potentially.
Oh, no.
We've seen this happen before, but
come on!
Disqualified for ignoring yellow flags. Well then.
Oh, what's going on?
We're having a slight issue,
No.
I think.
Yay! Yay, what's going on? Help! Somebody help! What's going on? Oh, for crying out loud.
I'm pretty sure this happened in quarter as well. I think EA servers with having a moment.
Oh my word! What's occurring, lads? What's going on, Phil? Oh,
think
jeez.
so. I'm going to go on board with CWM boy, who's caught the safety car and is leading the pack apparently. Quintino,
Oh,
who is in P2, is catching up with 45 seconds to catch. And then you see the lapped car, one of the Kickstarters, whether it
has
be
he got a red flag?
Owls. I think that's Owls. We've got a red flag.
Got a red flag. There's
Oh,
Nathan
a
Richards
red
in the chat. We've
flag.
got a red flag and half points race. Are we going to call? Is that it? Then is that race called off?
I think we're calling there. I think because we've surpassed the 50% mark of the Grand Prix, half points will be awarded, and I do believe they take the result from before the bug happened. So they'll be looking back over the stream if they can, trying to get back down the timeline to find out where everybody is in the correct order. Half points will be awarded to all the teams. So for those of you who are or were in the lead before we saw this bug happen, or before I think it's before the safety car comes out, they're going to take the result from, because the safety car was bugged. I'm not entirely sure. There's a big process that goes in with the stewarding on that. But Nathan Richards has called the red flag. We will see half points, and we're going to have to cut this one short at only 19 laps.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll head back to the camera screens momentarily, then we'll hopefully get the results in, which we'll have a look in the Miami chat to see if they have put them in there. They have yet, or where it will be. But anyway, we'll get the results. They'll be in the server anyway. You know where to find it. It's a shame to end it like that because it was on for quite a good ending there. EA has to ruin it.
Yeah, there was a lot of interesting strategies though. Some drivers are going for an unorthodox attempt, boxing early, a lot earlier than you'd ever expect. But then you saw the likes of Shinaka Claire going super long, and I think that inspired Frost Breath to try and go for a similar strategy. He boxed, I think, on lap 17, so he was going for that 12-lap push on the mediums as well, inspired by the fact Shinaka Claire could get them to 12, 13, 14 laps as he did. So things were looking good. The strategies were looking kind of spicy, kind of interesting. Well, that is all we've got for you for Miami, unfortunately. We're going to have to cut this one short, but half points are awarded. You're going to get just a little bit of a break now for around about 20 minutes or so, around at 20 minutes, half an hour, as we reline up the schedule, because this has been cut short. I can't actually remember when the next time one is. This started at, what, 20 past 10? So they've allocated an hour and 10 minutes per session, should be around half 11. If I'm right. So in around 30 minutes time, you're going to get more racing, I do believe. Yes, 11:30, you're going to get Italy, Monza. So be prepared for that. Don't go anywhere. It is going to be a break for around 30 minutes while we line back up with the schedule, and everything will come back to your screen with some action. Sorry to cut this one short, but the game has a couple bugs that are known, and some things can be avoided, some things can't. This is just one of those things.
Yeah, absolutely. Quick run through of the calendar then. So we've just done Miami. Then we'll be heading to Italy, which is at 11:30. Then it's Canada, which I'll be joining you at, and Australia too. So I'll be doing them two races. But after that, it is the Monaco Midnight Wet, and that is an absolute fantastic event. We all love it, iconic from last time. Then it's Abu Dhabi, Baku, which Corey, you're racing, are you?
I am indeed. You shall see me once again, 5:20 in the morning. I'll be sat there with a litre of coffee, trying to down it all before the race starts so we can get underway for what will be an interesting Azerbaijan Grand Prix. I do feel a lot more confident in Baku, so hopefully I'm going to have a better attempt there. And obviously the walls are very close. I'm going to try and stay away from them. I can't promise you anything, so don't expect anything from me. If you're expecting to see a spicy commentator do some interesting stuff, you ain't going to see it. That's a fact.
Oh, well, it's a perfect time for Baku because obviously loads of walls and that. Early hours at morning, people haven't really slept. So that's going to make it an interesting race. Anyway, chaps, we'll head to the intermission now. And yeah, so you will have Monza next. I think Omi's there, and I think he's putting on a wig. So that'll make it interesting. But anyway, chaps, it's been Alex Bagwell, it's been Corey Brooks, and we'll head over to the next event and we'll line up the timings, get it all right. So yeah, I'll see you not the next race, but the one after. But that's all from me for now. That's all from Corey and Fitz. So any final words?
No, other than to Ashton the Brit. I saw you in the chat there, my friend. I'm not in a Red Bull, so that statement's invalid. That's all I've got to say on that.
Right, cheers, chaps. We'll see you in a bit.